Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo. We're back here with some more Star Citizen. Now, this week is actually the free flight week for a lot of the ships inside of Star Citizen. So we've got the Avenger, the Gladius, the Gladiator. We've got all variants of the Hornet, all variants of the Mustang, and all variants of the 300i. We've got the Cutlass. We've got the M50. We've got all of the Auroras. So basically, just about every ship that you could possibly currently fly in-game is available to fly for free. So now's the time to kind of check out some of the ships that you haven't had a chance to fly, maybe because you're looking to purchase them, or maybe just because, like me, you just want to fly these things. So I'm actually going to hop into the MR. We're going to hop into the good old Aurora, because interestingly enough, this ship was also free about a couple weeks ago, and I wanted to make a video of it, and I was too late. By the time I hopped in, it was already like, oh, it's over with, and you missed it, and I was really upset, because I had gotten a chance to fly it for a little bit, and I was really impressed with how much this ship has changed. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to bumble about in free flight. I want to apologize in advance for any slippage in my voice. I'm definitely still very sick. I'm doing this video, though, on a hot cup of tea and a freshly blown nose, so hopefully everything goes as planned. No booger leakage, and hopefully the hot tea will maintain the integrity of my voice for the length of the commentary. If not, I might have to take a sip, so apologies if there's any slurping sounds. Just drinking a hot cup of tea in my Aurora. I mean, that's what the ship's all about, you know? It's the everyday spaceship. It's like the Honda Civic of spaceships. But if you remember, I did a video on this ship. It was like, it was the first ship that I got to fly in game, so going way back, like when none of the handling, nothing was really finished in SC, this was the first ship I flew, and it felt like an absolute nightmare to me. It was a ship that was like, in my mind, it felt like an old, like, Woody wagon, because the back end sort of just, like, all over the place. It was terrible to fly. It was not fun. I didn't enjoy it at all. Let me just go ahead and disable my, oops, I re-enabled it on accident. Is it Shift P I have it set up to? Oh, that's my thrust. There's one of these buttons. There we go. Alright. So yeah. So when I flew it a couple weeks ago, I was like, wow, dude, this thing's like all tight now, and it feels good to fly. And it's also one of the first ships to have like a fully finished cockpit. So everything just isn't up on the screen. It's actually on screens inside of the ship, so we can access all this stuff right here, and that's like super cool. Like, that's what a lot of us are really waiting for, right? We want to have all this stuff available in the ship. So let's disable our laser cannons. We don't need those. We're not going to be using those. We could set the different firing things for them. We even got our missiles if we had any. Nothing on the ship right now. So go back to the main page and bounce off. And there's just been a lot of work done to this ship. It is one of the ships that is the most finished in SC. I mean, I love, you can hear all the little thrusters working. I mean, not that you can on a lot of the ships, but it's just, I don't know, it feels more pronounced in the Aurora, and it's made it like a ship that I really enjoy. I'm almost upset that I got rid of it, but it's not like I have a Mustang instead, because to be honest, I don't care much for that ship. Even with the changes, I'm not a huge fan of that ship still to this day. So let's float around a little bit. It's just there's something about it. I like the work they've done with the cockpit. I like the changes they've made to this ship. It's just made it a really beautiful ship, in my opinion. And, this is, to me, it's like, this is a good starter ship, and it kind of goes back to what I was talking about with the, when they originally announced the, sorry, not the Starfarer, whatever the most recent ship announcement was, the one that, everybody's raving over, that kind of is a trading-based ship. I think it's important that these starting ships are very well established and that they don't feel dull, they don't feel boring, they have a lot of character. And I think the Aurora had character from the start. A lot of us in Praxis were calling it the Space Roach, as one of our guys, Drevin, coined it. And I've continued to call it. A lot of people said it looks like a dragonfly, or, like a firefly, because of the way the rear wing array is. So everybody's kind of got their own name for this ship already. It'll be interesting to see how it becomes established in the verse, amongst the people who are going to fly it, the traders, and, people of that nature. But I have to say, if, this was the first ship I had to fly, if I didn't own the other ships I own, I'd be okay with that. Like, there's just something about this ship now. It feels so tight. Like, it doesn't feel all wavy and disgusting. And I don't think there was a reason for that. I didn't like that original approach. Like, just because it doesn't have all these combat maneuvering thrusters, doesn't mean that it should handle like a pile of steel just kind of vaguely exploding out in space with some thrusters strapped to it. It actually does perform really well. It has the thrusters in a good place. It allows it to be rather nimble. It's not the quickest ship. It doesn't have the best set of shields. You can actually outfit it with decent weaponry. So it just feels like a nice all-around ship, in my opinion, previous to this, yeah, it was like that Honda Civic that somebody just put a can on. That sounded terrible. This is more like that Honda Civic that's owned by that guy that really knows how to tune engines, and he's kind of tweaked this thing to his liking, and I'm all for that. Trying to pull off some cool landing here, but we kind of failed that miserably. Where are we at? I lost my orientation here. Just because it's a cooler looking ship doesn't make you a good pilot magically. There we go. Let's come in for a landing in the Aurora. Bring her on down, nice and slow. We'll run inside, we'll pick up some of that. It's that space milk, or some of you guys wanted me to call it, some of that Vandal milk, which just sounds so disgusting on so many levels. I think I'd prefer the blue space milk. Vandal milk just, blah. Oh, I hope they're not drinking Vandal milk in space, because, whew. You see those guys? They're hideous. When you look like that, there's no way you can produce something that tastes good. That's just my thought process. So, the Roach, I mean, it's just, I feel like they cleaned up the ship really well. I mean, they really genuinely have. I've always loved the cockpit of this ship. I've said that so many times. I love the sort of glass. It's very 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It feels very retro. And I do actually like the wing design quite a bit. And, you know, also the ship's modability. That was one of the things it was praised for. You know, like the Honda Civic in real life that has all these different variants you can purchase. You know, this is the same type of thing. You can make it a carrying ship. You can make it, you know, for light cargo. You can even make it for combat. You know, there's a lot of purpose built around this ship, and I'm all about that. And I think I used in the past the word utilitarian, and that word definitely still stands. It's nice to see the ship just from a performance and handling standpoint feel more on point. Feel less like it's struggling with itself would be the best way to put it. So just another video to help all of you guys out there who only have the base package for Star Citizen appreciate your Aurora a little bit more. I often have people tell me that, you know, that they watched like my past video on the Aurora and the Mustang and how I compared those two and talked about, you know, should you make the switch? And it's funny because back then I said yes, like to the Mustang. You know, we didn't really have the Mustang yet, but I said like I want to make the switch just because I hate the way this thing flies. Now, having driven the Mustang or flown the Mustang, you know, numerous times in its most recent form, understandably, this is not final form for either of these ships. You know, we can't say that, but in their current states, I would go Aurora all day. You know, for the finished interior, you know, actually having the screens that actually work. And you know, that's weird. It resets after a takeoff. I didn't know that. And you know, just because I really appreciate the rest of the ship's personality and characteristics. All around, it's a bang-on ship. You should really fly it. Gee whiz. So those of you guys out there who only own something like the Mustang, or you're looking to just get into Star Citizen, maybe you just watched my What is Star Citizen video and you're like, okay, so these are the two ships I have to choose from. Hopefully this better helps you identify or, you know, make that decision on which ship you'd like to purchase for that starter package, whether it be the Aurora or the Mustang. And hopefully you choose the Aurora because it's obviously the more badass and superior ship. And that's my personal opinion. Not stating facts, just stating my personal opinion. If you guys have been flying the Aurora, let me know what you think of it. Do you like the changes to it? Are you a big fan of the huge interior cockpit? I could actually, like I said, see myself kind of floating out in deep space, hidden behind an asteroid in this thing, just on a small trade route, taking a nap in the back, all sort of, you know, it's like I'm driving a long-range pickup truck, or a long-range semi-truck, just without the huge cargo piece in back. So let me know your thoughts on the Aurora. If you guys have any questions for me regarding Star Citizen or the video, as always, throw them down in the comment section below. Tonight is actually the launch of the brand new Batman game. I'm going to be playing a bunch of it at midnight, and hopefully I'll be bringing you guys my first impressions by Wednesday or Thursday. And as I said, we do have that Metal Gear Solid video coming up. I've been spending a lot of time trying to make a beauty play, as Hideo Kojima would say, to try and, you know, just have something cool in the background for you guys to watch while we talk about this possible redefining of the stealth genre by the brand new Metal Gear Solid. I'll see you in the next one.